Welcome to 2024. Forget the cliches about New Year's resolutions that fizzle out by February. And instead, let's talk about the new year in a different way. One that's less about flipping a calendar page and more about understanding the rhythm of time and our place in that time. So many of you know I'm a musician, and rhythm is a very important part of music. In a band, that's how we all stay together and in sync. Without that, the greatest musicians would just be uncoordinated noise, like a band of raccoons and a trash can symphony. And as a business leader, you have much more in common with musicians in a band than you might think. As the new year unfolds, think about yourself as a songwriter, maybe a composer. Each of us has a blank sheet of music in front of us, and the question isn't what resolutions we should scribble down quickly because we're supposed to have a plan, right? But it's really about what melodies and harmonies do we want to weave throughout the year. It's about setting an intention, a theme, if you will, that guides our decisions, our actions, and interactions. Now, over the holidays, my brother in law was talking about Duolingo. He's learning Spanish. Pretty cool. Yeah, I've tried it and a dozen other ways to learn several different languages. And learning a language takes time, it takes discipline, and lots of the ways out there are not very fun or engaging. Old school, a long time ago, you used to go sit in class. Anyone ever learn another language in high school? Yeah, can you still speak that today? Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? You go through and you may take, 1, 2, 3 years of a language, and then, a little while later, it's like, I have no idea what any of that stuff is. When we aren't consistent, progress evaporates. Duolingo has turned language learning into a daily habit for millions. They didn't just build an app, they created a daily practice habit, made it fun, gamified the process, and transformed language learning not into just like a New Year's resolution, but a sustainable part of people's lives. It's why it works. And success isn't about, hitting January goals. It's about integrating into the daily rhythms of users year round. So it's taking those habits. If you've read Atomic Habits, it's that habit stacking. It's taking something that you're already doing and building into that. So how can we do the same thing inside of our companies? We walk our SaaS companies through a process that's transformed my business and life starting about 10 years ago. And since then, I've refined that process every single year, and we've continued to iterate on that. And here's the core of it. The beginning of the year, instead of resolutions, what we want to do is first, we want to set a theme, not just goals. Instead of a list of resolutions, ideas, goals, or maybe wishes, consider setting a theme for the year. Maybe it's growth, maybe it's balance, innovation. One of our companies last year set a theme of fun. We can't grind all the time, right? But does that mean that we just sit still or stagnate? And with the theme of fun, no, they grew 130% last year with a theme of fun. But whatever you choose, let the theme be your guide, influencing your choices and priorities, giving your actions depth and direction. And we use an agile methodology and work in very specific projects that move the needle in conjunction with your theme. And I think that's pretty awesome. Second, we want to embrace the power of rituals. Think about the small daily rituals that can lead to big changes over time. Kind of like Duolingo's daily lessons. What small actions can you incorporate into your routine that align with your theme and build towards your vision? I talked about this in December. The mark of a champion is consistency. Sometimes one step seems so insignificant, boring, mundane, but string together a couple thousand and you've traveled a mile. Cash flow follows calendar, so schedule those consistent steps. Get them on there. Take those steps day after day after day. Be consistent. And third, we want to celebrate the continuum. The new year isn't a stark break from the past, but a continuation of what you're already doing. So we want to keep some things, we want to do some new things, and we want to get rid of some old things that didn't work. So reflect on the lessons from the previous year and consider how they inform your journey forward. What do you want to keep? What do you want to get rid of? What do you want to add? This isn't about abrupt change. I have a picture and I'll show it to you if you're watching the podcast. It's a trail that we hiked in Zion National Park, and it's going up the side of a mountain, back and forth and back and forth. And every step was, just a step. And whatever it is, 18, 20, 30 inches forward. It's like, how far am I going? It's just a step. But consistency paid off. We made it to the top and well beyond. And I love the idea that this picture conveys of looking back at the trail and seeing all those switchbacks going up the mountain. We can see that progress. And I think it's important that we look at that. We look at the progress behind and the road ahead. And so it's like looking back, you're like, wow, we did that. And now you're looking ahead and saying, now let's go do this. So here's to a year of meaningful themes, daily rituals, and continuous evolution. So make 2024 not just another loop around the sun, but a deliberate, beautiful composition of our time, talents, and aspirations. Cheers to the new year, a year like no other, 2024. So, what are some themes that you are thinking about or maybe kicking around this year for 2024? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you.